Welcome back to the Explanation Pro. Today I'll explain a history drama movie, AK-47 Kalashnikov. Spoilers incoming. The movie starts from a cinematic way of introducing the movie artists, from sketch of the actors and actresses then will transform to a real one. The movie is set on year 1941. Cannons, bombing and gunfires are everywhere. It is so loud that soldiers are having a hard time hearing. Many soldiers are injured and is getting some treatment. Some became blind and some lost part of their bodies. The soldiers are on their way when suddenly the truck is stuck because of the snow. The soldiers try to push the vehicle despite of their injuries, but still the car is stuck. One soldier approaches the lieutenant and suggests that maybe the barn from their far sight could have horses that they can use. The lieutenant asks for the soldier's name and he said he is Kalashnikov, and the lieutenant asks for his fist name instead and says that it is Mikhail. The two of them are on their way to the barn and Mikhail asks if the lieutenant is holding a new Armalite and got a reply that it is their newest weapon. Mikhail asks how accurate the gun is and the lieutenant replies that he doesn't even know until he have used it. They already reach the barn and see a horse there. The lieutenant gives Mikhail a handgun and says that he can use it in case of an emergency. The lieutenant then went first at the yard of the barn. Then there are soldiers coming out which are their enemy and an encounter happen. The lieutenant uses the new weapon and suddenly it went stuck and have a hard time aiming to fire. Mikhail supports the lieutenant with the firing, but unfortunately the lieutenant is shot. Then Mikhail sees an old man through the window. The two of them are now in Iraq and they are pulled by the horse as the old man commands it. They reach the destination of the stuck vehicle and the horse successfully pulled out the vehicle. The injured soldiers then continue their journey. Mikhail narrates his letter and the background as their journey flashes. He says that they have lost the war and he even barely made it since he is shot on the arm. His doctor recommends him to rest until his wound is okay. He is now on a train with different soldiers inside. He is sitting there and the other soldier is playing a harmonica. One soldier asks where is he from and they start a conversation. Mikhail mentions that he is once deployed there in Kazakhstan and his boss didn't want him there for a reason that he does different things like he is making a shotgun and stuff related to guns. The reason why he is deployed to go to a war. He says that he is still thinking on how he can create an automatic machine gun. He gets his notebook and shows his drawing of his plan. The soldier says that they wouldn't kick Mikhail with that drawing and says that the motherland needs soldiers like Mikhail. Mikhail remembers the time when he is a child and is inventing a gun, and after that reminiscing, he decides on something. Then he went off of the train and he looks for his old place. He is looking for his old boss who is really busy supervising the people making steam engines. The boss says that he has no spot of work for him, but Mikhail didn't stop. They are in the boss office and the boss remembers his name, that he is the reason why he was given a penalty for having gun and what is the purpose of it, but Mikhail insists that they need to create one for their soldiers or losing the war because their enemy is well equipped and they need a submachine to use in the war. Mikhail left the office because the boss still refused no matter explanation, he says. Mikhail is sitting at the train station and he asks one of the soldiers if the one going down of the train is someone important, and he got an answer that he is someone of high ranking. The soldier asks him the experience of being in the front of the war and Mikhail replies that it is like he is in a furnace, and then he runs toward to where the high official ranking is. He introduces himself to the high ranking official and is instructed to make what he wants to say in a real quick manner. He wants to directly says it, then realizes that it is a wrong start, then he says on how the front war goes stammering, and the high-ranking officer said that just to say what he wants to say. Mikhail is now back in his former boss's office and handing a piece of paper. The paper is a recommendation signed by the high-ranking officer. The boss gets up his phone and is calling someone and instructing to give Mikhail a room to work with and all the tools he will be needing. Passionately, Mikhail starts to create all of his plan in his drawings. He then talks to his boss and asks for some people to help him, but the boss refuses, for he says that he doesn't have any spare people to help him. He is now trying to make the gun alone and is struggling because he can only use his one hand. The workers walk towards him and volunteered that they could help him on their non-working hours and starts to work on the gun. They are excited to see if the gun is working, starts to shoot, and they are very happy that they made a successful one. Mikhail went to the main office and is asking for the high ranking, but says that he is in the front line and there is a new commander there. He then shows his invention and he is confined in an area. The commander gets the gun and is going to test it, and he is really amazed how the gun works. Since Mikhail is confined, the other soldiers are making him a laughing stock, for they say that he is an inventor. The laughing is interrupted when the commander and a higher ranking official enters. The commander says that they need to get Mikhail out and says that he is indeed an inventor. Mikhail goes out proudly and is looking with a chin-up pose to those soldiers who are mocking him. The high-ranking official brief him about a contest of inventions and asks him if he would like to enter, and he answers with a firm yes. It is the day that the general is going to test his invention. The general shoots and he asks for binoculars. He then calls for Mikhail and says that he should wear a new uniform, for he will be representing their district for his invention. Mikhail is now on the place where the competition will be held. He is now touring the place, and when he is eating alone, a woman approaches him and introduces herself as she will be Mikhail's assistant. She also emphasizes that she will do so in one condition: just don't flirt with her. Mikhail got into the car and there is another soldier sleeping inside. The soldier is a major sergeant and sort of an inventor. They make a short conversation and Mikhail gives him some peanuts. Mikhail says how a big fan he is of Dextero. The next day, Mikhail is testing his gun when Sergeant Major approaches him and they greet each other with a salute. Mikhail notices that there's a group of people coming and he asks who are they, and got a reply that those people work for Dextero. He asks who Dextero there is, but the Sergeant Major says that he should be doing the more important thing, which is the testing of his gun. Mikhail is now working with his gun and someone knocks on the door. It is the woman she met at the cafeteria and introduces herself as Katerina. He can't say anything and the two of them got to work. Katerina finally finishes the design and Mikhail by the window says that he is very thankful for her help, and he says that she should wait for a minute. Mikhail runs fast to his quarter and gets something. He then again runs faster and out of breath. He is handing her candies and pleasingly says that she should accept it, and it is also sugarless. Mikhail asks Katerina that he should walk her and take her home. The two of them are on the way when there's a group of people dancing. They are watching them dance and someone asks her if she would care to dance. She then says that he should be dancing first with Mikhail since he is the one who is with her, but the sergeant asks permission to Mikhail. Mikhail is watching as the two dances, and when they have finished the dance, Katerina is so happy and tell Mikhail that the sergeant is asking her to work with him. They are now going back on their way when suddenly the sergeant asks if he could walk Katerina home. There, Mikhail interrupts that he is the one who is walking her. The two men had an argument and Katerina asks them if they care to ask her first. Mikhail then grabs her and she is really upset. Still, Mikhail walks her home, and when they reach her house, she is going to leave, but still she says thank you and also for the candies because her daughter loves it. Mikhail asks if she has a husband and says that there's no one. Kalashnikov didn't win the contest and is very sad about it. He is about to give up and just want to go to the front, but the doctor says that he is still not fit for battle. He then advised to not give up and still work on his creations. He writes to Katerina, and in the letter, she says that he should come if he has created his submachine. He went back to the invention area and meet with Katerina. There they are happy to see each other, and then they went out and it rains. The two of them went to Katerina's home, and there, they both share a passionate welcoming of each other's bodies. The war has ended, and one night, Mikhail can't go to sleep. Katerina says that he can still invent rifles even though there's peace. Kalashnikov is called by one of a high-ranking official. He expected that he will be no longer to be able to work on his inventions, but the news from the officer given to him is a better one. He receives that he should still be working on his works on his department, that he is very happy and can't believe about it. He finishes his set of batches of his guns and is very upset that he can't even test it because the testing range is always occupied by Dextera. He requests for occupancy, but it is after 3 days and the event is near of the set available occupancy. Mikhail lost his patience, and there, he improvises a shooting target outside and in a public place. He starts to shoot and he is arrested. Before the day of the competition, he meets with Dexterov and he is asked to show him his inventions. He showed it, and Dexterov that his invention is far more advanced than him. On the day of the competition, Dexterov's creation failed on testing with the sand and just fired 2 bullets when came out from water. His creation is tested and is a successful one. Mikhail went back to Katerina and she asks him if he is happy. He says that he is, but his face doesn't say so. But when Katerina says that she is pregnant, his face brightens and his smiles got bigger. Mikhail went with a general somewhere. He is asked if where he is from and when did he went back home. Mikhail replies that he is from Alta and he is far from their home, that maybe he could not recognize his own mother's face. The general says that why shouldn't he come home, and Mikhail replies that he thought that he will be home after his successful invention, but yet he has to serve for 10 more years. The story ends where the general introduces him as a young inventor to some battalions and the general permitted him to went back home. Mikhail is walking with Katerina with their daughters and is now about to enter their home. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe my channel for more videos like this. See you in the next video.